It's like nerve-wracking, this shit. I've been a big fan of Teslas since 2017, bought my first Tesla shares, and been in automotive tech for the last 5 years. While working in the tech, we serviced a lot of Uber drivers. We brought car subscription to South Africa, and we had about 1,000 Uber drivers on our books. And when Elon mentioned in 1010 that he saw that Uber drivers could become shepherds, I then considered how to assist them to become shepherds, how to assist them to get fleets of cars together. It didn't have to be Uber drivers, it could be Junior Avis or any type thing, or young entrepreneur. But I mean, we had been working in that industry for a while, and I really appreciated the Tesla vision, shared the Tesla vision, and wanted to be involved. It's the similar problem to the one that we solved in the last 5 years in my last business, which is to assist people to access transportation. In terms of Uber drivers, it was to get them cars, essentially. Sometimes the banks wouldn't finance them, so we found ways to be able to finance them either through rent-to-buy, car subscription, or just an e-hailing product that we had for them. And I think there's a need for that in the Tesla community. If there's going to be micro fleets, I mean, there's obviously going to be these huge Tesla fleets and maybe some other types of groups who do huge fleets. But if you can have micro fleets in different suburbs and areas, there's 42,000 zip codes in the United States. I don't want to wait 20 minutes for my robotaxi. I want it to be there with me in the next 30 seconds, if possible. And so having somebody close to me, close to where I live, would work for me in my mind. And I think that's what his idea about shepherds was to have very localized micro fleets as well as the big, larger fleets. We would actually fund the fleet, essentially, or the community would be funding the fleet. So it gives the Tesla community and whoever is a Tesla enthusiast opportunity to fund a community fleet, which could be operated by shepherds, ex-Uber drivers and that. So instead of them taking 5 years to scale their fleet from one robotaxi to 2 to 3 to 4, they could be up to 10, maybe 100 robotaxis in a very short space of time. The long-term vision is that it becomes completely decentralized, permissionless, and operated by the Tesla community itself. So that's really the idea. The idea is to create it and in a way hand it over a couple of years.
And how many years are you talking?
Yeah, within a 3-year period. Yeah, we see it's possible. The tech for this is quite well developed already, and I think this is a very doable idea. We've already built a sandboxed simulation of how it would operate, and all now we want to do is waiting for Tesla to open the network so we can get the product out there and try to actually see how it works. Obviously, there'll be refinements. There's going to be learnings, but I think we understand what it needs to do. The thing that I really enjoyed about Tesla was the community. I mean, that's actually what it felt like, you being part of something. It's initially the vision was the journey to sustainable energy. Then the mission changed slightly, and I think the new mission is going to be journey to unlimited abundance. But there is going to be a bit of dystopia. There is going to be a transition, displacement, and I think that's where the community can actually come in, get involved, and assist in that transition period, where we'll still need a human in the loop, and those humans in the loop need to be taken care of, in a sense, or empowered, let's say. They're good at taking care of themselves already, but and I see that's where T420 comes in. If you looked at Uber in the early days, Uber is essentially a decentralized business. Yes, there's obviously a central Uber company, but the drivers who joined Uber just sort of chose to join it themselves. They got themselves a car, they joined up on the app, and essentially they were decentralized network of drivers. The problem now with robotaxis is there is no driver. So that worked really well because you could give the guy a car, he would take it home to his suburb, and he'd start his day from there and pick up some people, and the day would continue. That doesn't work with robotaxis. Yes, it will be fine in big cities where you've got massive fleets, but that's not going to be, right for every single neighborhood. And I think the technology, if you're going to build something that's decentralized, there is great technology for that, and that is Web3 technology. We're using Solana as a base. There's lots of good tooling on it. I've been really impressed with the tooling, and there's lots of good solutions as well. So I think this is the way to go. In fact, I can't think of another way, to be honest. Essentially, we call it a network token, but there is definitely an asset-backed aspect to it because the network generates assets in the form of robotaxis. But essentially, the token has a lot of utility to it. So essentially, what it does is it either is used to stake for an NFT. The NFT becomes a digital unlock, so it's a virtual key to the fleet management system, and a virtual key to the actual robotaxis. So that's one way of doing it. Another way, it's used for voting, and we've foreseen at a later date it used for a marketplace for sort of a cottage industry type of charging and cleaning services and stuff like that. This being the actual router for it. So the token acts as that router as well. So yes, you can own stocks. And you should actually own Tesla stock. I think it's going to do really well. But this gives people outside of the US, people who don't have access to buying Tesla stocks, an opportunity to participate in the exciting revolution that is the robotaxi network. And I think that going forward, it's also an easy way. They can do it from anywhere in the world. They can invest in the US by buying these tokens, and they can also eventually, hopefully, benefit by the network growing and the fleet growing through that. So yeah, I think it's the way to go. We're looking for 3 different types of people who get involved from either content creation, helping us sort of spread evangelize the mission, if you like. We're looking for shepherds at a later date, which would be a phase 3 part of this, and we're looking for investors during our pre-sale, which will be starting in October. Well, obviously, it's always good to get involved in a project like this on the ground up. There's obviously lots of risks in this project, but this is the exciting time. So, yeah, this is being part of something, part of a movement, which is part of a greater movement than us, which is the Tesla experience, if you like. But we like to call ourselves the flea that makes the bull run faster.
Nice, cool. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Can we go home now?